Hello, it's the Board Game Vicar here at Board Deck and Dice. I am the priest of Press Your Luck games, the canon of card games, and the bishop of board games. So today we are looking at a subject that is close to many vicars' hearts, and that is rules. We're going to take a look at some rule books. Some I consider to be good, some I consider to be bad, and some of the problems that we have with rule books. Maybe this will help absolutely nobody write their rule books better. So to start, let's look at Choreo, which is admittedly written in a different language first, but this rule book is one of the worst I've seen. The tiny print, the layout of everything, it's just confusing, and was one of the games I had to check for most clarifications for on Board Game Geek. The one thing I like about this rule book is it is in a little booklet form. I wish they had improved the print and not had so much wasted space. I mean, look, you could have increased the size of the print there and not had that space. You didn't have to have so many pictures in, rah. So that is a bad example. I've picked Potion Explosion for one thing, and that is at the back of here. It's how to tidily fit everything into the box. If you are going to give me a nice insert with lots of various holes, I appreciate you telling me which bits were designed to go in those holes. Sometimes it's obvious. Jamaica, it's fairly obvious which bits go where, but it's nice to know that I'm doing the right thing. That's a personal thing. As the rulebook goes, this is also very good. It's in the book form. There's lots of pictures. It tells you how to build the marble dispenser. It's very clear with examples, not just pictures for picture's sake. This guy pops in and makes obvious observations that not everyone might pick up, and does it in a semi-amusing way. But it is very clear. The only thing that is a problem with this rule book, and it's not so much of a problem because Potion Explosion is a relatively simple game, but do they have to be the size of the box? This is more relevant on the next game, Treasure Hunter, which I think is an example of telling the rules. It's fantastic. There is loads of information, it's all numbered, it's got colour coding, it tells you exactly what to do, it works through the phases really clearly. There's no room for doubt here, but as you can see, it kind of is a massive long bit of paper that if I want to refer to in the middle of a game is not that easy to do so. Even the crib sheet for the blooming cards is the size of the box, and I want my table to have the game on. I don't want to have the rule book and crib sheet taking up as much room as the game board does, because it just gets a bit unmanageable. And so a fantastically written rule book, really how it should be done in terms of writing, but why so big and floppy? When I open this thing out, look, it goes everywhere. Now we get on to slightly better examples. Adrenaline, I think, is a very good rule book. All full colour, lots of pictures, not too much text. It's concise, it's clear, it fits with the iconography in the game, which is relatively simple. There were a few bits where I got a bit confused, but by the end of the rule book, it was all good, because when I get a game and I start reading through the rules, I don't want to have to read like the Bible. I don't want to read blocks and blocks of text and before I get to the game. I like to see this where you can almost work through the game your first time with the rule book out. And although it is a big rule book, it is book format, so if you do have to refer to the rules, then it's not as difficult as with Treasure Hunter. They also have the weapon reference. Again, I don't think this needs to be this big, really. Reference sheets that you're going to have to look at should be a little bit smaller. And then the best example for me recently of a rule book, and it's still the same size of the box, but Diamond, or the version of Ink and Gold. It is very short and concise. It includes everything you need to know, clearly rolled out. Again, a bit of waste of spacage here, lots of blank space, but everything is in there. When it comes to the gameplay, you've only actually got these 2 pages, and more importantly, a very good cardstock player aid that gives you important reminders and an end of the round reminder and reminders of the important rules. So those are some of my picks for looking at rulebooks of bad and good examples, or good but frustrating examples. What games do you think have the best rulebooks or the best examples of rulebooks? I've been the Board Game Vicar, and I will see you next time on Board, Deck and Dice.